Sitting here waiting, hit the like button. Hit the like button. That shows me that you're engaged with me, whether you're on YouTube or Facebook. Just hit the like button. I'm gonna give y'all a minute to do that while I sip on some of my wine here. All right, I'm gonna 5 seconds. 6, 4, 3, 2, 1. All right, I'm going live. Hey Gwen, how you doing? Okay, I want to talk about the young lady from Columbus, Mississippi by the name of Kadejah Brown. She killed her husband while going live on Facebook. She actually murdered him live on Facebook. Now, for the newcomers, I know I've got some people that have followed me just recently and may not have had time to go back and look at any of my stories from before. I am a domestic violence survivor. I was in a relationship, and everything that happened to me, my stories that I tell about my ex-husband, happened 20 years ago. So by the grace of God, he left me alone. I'm healed. I'm here. I'm healthy, and I'm happy, and I'm at peace. Okay? So what I want to say is, domestic violence is not always directed towards a woman getting abused. Men can get abused also, like I told y'all once before. Now, the young lady that I'm about to talk about, her name is Kadejah Brown out of Columbus, Mississippi. She killed her husband while live on Facebook. I was able to watch that live video as well. I watched it, but I didn't see when she shot him because the phone was down, but you could hear the gunshot. But anyway, the backstory is, and what I've gathered from my research, because I like to do my research before I just jump in on something, just so I'll know what I'm saying. Hey, Dolores. What happened was, the young man, her husband, he sent a direct message, a DM, to one of his co-workers, and he told the co-worker that she was sexy. Now, the wife, Kadejah, went into his DMs and saw that her husband messaged a woman saying that she was sexy. Now, the lady, the co-worker, didn't respond to the message, but of course that set it off for Kadejah. She called her husband and told him to come pick up his stuff, but instead of stuff, she said the SH word. So he came home. Keep in mind, his mother brought him there. His mother was outside waiting on him while he went into the house to retrieve his stuff, because she had already told him he needed to come home to get his stuff. Okay, so while there, she kept on at him, nagging him, "Give me my keys. You ain't nothing. I know you messing around on me." And he was like, "Just leave me alone. Let me get my stuff. Let me get my stuff." Now, he wanted to have, from what the research I also saw, he wanted a police escort, because I think it may have been domestic violence situations in the past with them. And from what I was gathered, they dated from middle school on up to, I think both of them now are 28 years old. So, you know, sometimes when that happens, when you like a high school sweetheart, and they went all the way back to middle school from what I researched. So this was like something that was obsession for her. I'm just putting that out there in the atmosphere, because she was the aggressor, according to the Facebook Live that I heard. Anybody else that heard it, she was the aggressor. She kept telling him, "You're not gonna leave, give me my keys." And the whole time he was on the phone with his uncle. His uncle was telling him, "Leave, just get out of there, just leave." So I think the wife, Kadejah, put her hands on him, and he was like, "Get your hands off of me." So in the meantime, her mother was in the background. Kadejah's mother was over there kind of egging it on a little bit. I don't know if she was doing it to be messy, but she kept saying how, he's never there. she has to feed the kids and take them where they need to go. And Kadejah was saying the same thing with her mom. And so apparently the mother wanted to talk to the son-in-law, but you know, he kept saying that, you know, the mother-in-law kept saying, well, when you want to talk, when you want to talk. He didn't want to talk. He was trying to get his stuff to get from up out of there. So the whole time, like I said, Kadejah kept messing with him. The next thing you know, we heard a gunshot. Like I said, the phone was down, but she was live on Facebook. We heard a gunshot. And the mother was like, oh, no, you killed him. You shot him. And the first thing Kadejah said was, I don't want to go to jail. Now, why would you do what you did? I mean, girl, this girl Kadejah she was a content creator just like myself. She had like 30,000 followers. Let me get 30,000 followers. Girl, you winning with 30,000 followers. You worrying about what this man doing. And like I said, she messed up her life. She messed up her kids' life. Now the kids don't have a mother or a father right in range right now because she is in jail. But from what I read today, they set bond at $750,000 is what the bond amount was set to. Now, whether she got out or not, I don't know. But what I'm trying to say is, ladies, again, it's not men that always get abused. Women abuse men too. Now, women, and if you're listening out here, and if you're putting your hands on your man, stop doing that. He's not your possession. And it goes both ways, men. It's not, you know, it goes both ways. Nobody is nobody's possession. That's not love. When you have to worry about what a person is doing, where they are they cheating on me, you got to check their phone, you got to follow them. That you need to just leave that alone, because that right there is a sign of insecurity, for one. And don't you want a peace of mind? Nothing is better than a peace of mind. And I tell you what, all the things that I went through with my ex back here 20 years ago, and the way that I feel now, oh my God, this is the best feeling in the world. I don't have no type of energy for that type of looking at my person's phone and wondering who they're talking to on Facebook. We arguing every day, wondering what's going on. And that's right, the devil works through people. That is correct. He certainly does do that. Yes. Grown-ups do communicate. They don't throw hands, but not everybody is a grown-up. They're mental. Some people are just mental. It doesn't matter what you say or what you do. Some things stem from their childhood, and it causes them to react certain ways to certain things, like anger is built up. If you, and this is for ladies and men, you meet somebody and you probably already with that person, but if you meet somebody and you notice that they got an anger problem, run, because 9 times out of 10, it's going to backfire on you. You could be the one that have the anger problem also. You don't need to be with a person that has anger problems. And I know I used to come at y'all with my stories, but I'm really trying to get to the core of this domestic violence stuff. People need to hear it. And like I said, if you need help getting out of the relationship, there are resources. You have to be careful also when you're dealing with a person that's involved with criminal domestic violence, because the innocent person can get hurt. That has happened before. And I remember one time, and this is a co-worker of mine, and she's also a Facebook friend of mine. Her and her husband were going through some things. And I think that, I don't know if it was her husband, but I know she had kids by him. So at the time, I was going through my own little stuff. And she was going through some stuff, and she told me about it. And, her and I talked about each other's problems and what we were going through. So it didn't dawn on me. She was like, I need for you to do me a favor. Can you go with me to drop off my daughter? I think she had a daughter and a son, or maybe one or the other. And she needed somebody there with her because she couldn't have contact with him by herself. And so I was like, I don't know if I should do that. She's like, well, he's not going to bother you. He's not going to do anything. He's not going to do anything. You know, I trusted what she said. I went with her to the gas station across the street. We were at work. Went to the gas station across the street from the job. And so I saw the guy. She was telling me, I rode with her in the car. And that was stupid what I did, because he could have killed her and killed me. And so when we pulled up and met him, I saw the look in his eye, and I didn't like that look. It looked deranged, the way that he looked. So I was real nervous. I was like shaking, and I was just praying to God that this goes smoothly. But it did go smoothly. He got the kids, but he used to stalk her. She had restraining orders against him, all kind of stuff. But domestic violence is real, and you would not know sometimes who's going through domestic violence because they hide it from their family. They hide it from their friends. You wouldn't even know. You would think that everything is good, everything is peachy keen, everything is just good with everything because they have a smile on their face, just like how I used to do. I used to go to work, have a smile on my face. Nobody knew really what was going on unless you knew me or my family or whatever. But you have to just watch and look for the signs. Now, like I said before, the young lady, when she killed her husband on Facebook Live, that was just the dumbest thing I ever heard of. You live on Facebook, and we heard everything, how it went down. She was the aggressor. She was really the aggressor. I don't know if the live is still up, but her name is Kadejah Brown. That's her name. So you can pull her up and go back and listen to it. I don't know if it's still out there because Facebook probably banned it by now. Yeah. So I just want to know what y'all think about that. Shall her mother be charged? Because that's what the issue is now. A lot of people are saying that her mother was in the background egging it on. She kept, trying to instigate it. But I don't know. I couldn't tell if she was instigating it or not. She was just trying to say something. I guess she didn't know that her daughter was going to do that. But the daughter, like I said, that was just stupid of you to do that. And then the kids were right there. The kids, I don't know if they saw the actual shooting, but they did see the aftermath of the shooting. And that was really awful because that's going to haunt those kids for the rest of their life, seeing their daddy on the ground like that. And from what I was told in research, Kadejah shot the man in the back of the head. So that means he was walking away. Okay? So I don't even know why she got a bond, because that was cold-blooded murder. And then it was premeditated also, because she told people that she was going to kill him. Now, if anybody tell you they're going to kill you, trust and believe they're going to do it. Do not take that lightly. If somebody tell you I'm going to kill you, they're going to do it. They are going to do it. Now, I did write down some stuff so that I won't forget what else I want to talk about with her. But a piece of paper, which is a restraining order, that's all it is. It's a piece of paper. That's not going to stop a person. If a person really want to hurt you, they're going to hurt you, regardless of a piece of paper. And like I always resort back to a person is crazy. If they're mental, they're going to do what they want to do. Now, I was scared of my ex because of his demeanor. He was big. He was really, when he drank, hey there, Sherry, he would drink, and when he drank, he would get real loud and, like I said, uncontrollable, and that scared me. He would get angry, y'all. Listen, this is no lie. Any of his friends, and some of his friends are my friends too, they can tell you this. When he get angry, he was very uncontrollable. You could not control him. His friends were kind of like not scared of him, but didn't want to be nowhere in the mix with him. But he would have like saliva coming out like his mouth while he mad, like, you know what I mean? Just a crazy demonic figure is what I used to see, and it used to really scare me. And like I said, it's only when he drank. And I'm not making excuses saying it's only when he drank, but it's the truth. Whenever he drank is when he became a different person. But when he did not drink, he was super sweet and kind. And his friends can attest to that as well. He was a different person when he did not drink. But if you got kids, like I said before, and I keep stressing this and stressing this and stressing this and stressing this, get your kids out of that relationship. Get them out. And I know it's a lot of male friends that I have on Facebook and females too. Y'all watching my live and y'all done put y'all hands on y'all significant other. I know it. Y'all need to be ashamed of yourselves. That's why you ain't liking my stuff or engaging with me, because that's what you're doing. I done did, okay? And I know some of y'all have done it. So I just want to bring that to the light. But it's all good as long as you don't do it no more and you apologize to the other person. Because right now, this is a story that I'm going to tell y'all about this guy that he was like a boyfriend, but not really a real boyfriend. I think I was probably around 13 or so. I used to go to my aunt's house on the weekend, and she lived in Saxon Homes. And we went, me and my cousins, we used to go to this Elks Lounge Club on the weekends. And keep in mind, it's a teenage club. So I was around 13 years old, I want to say. And I had met this guy. He was a couple of years older than me, you know, because I really was attracted to a dark-skinned man. I used to like darker-skinned men. I was attracted to them. And like I said, he was dressed really nice, and I met him. And we started talking on the phone a lot, and pretty much that's all we did. Like I said, keep in mind I was only 13 years old, but I always was mature for my age. So I went to the Elks Lounge that weekend, and so it was another friend of mine, and he's on the live sometimes too, was at the club, and him and I was talking and, you know, just kicking it. Cause, you know, he was like a little, you know, little boyfriend from, you know, when you're in elementary school and stuff like that, how you be infatuated with each other and stuff like that. And he was a good friend of mine. So him and I was talking in the Elks Lounge, I believe it was. And then we came back, you know, we used to walk from the Elks Lounge to my aunt's house, where she lived in Saxon Homes, like I had told y'all once before. And so when he walked me back, my friend from Hilly Homes walked me back to my aunt's house. The guy that I was telling you about, that was the darker skinned guy who was like a little boyfriend or whatever, was talking on the phone a lot. He saw that and he approached me, and the guy was right there. So guess what he did, y'all? The guy that I told y'all about that was a little bit older than me, that used to dress really nice. He was like kind of like popular or whatever. I was 13, I think he was probably like 15. He slapped me. He slapped me. He slapped me in front of that guy. And he was like, well, who is that guy? My daddy never put his hands on me. Okay? My daddy never hit me. One time, let me back up. No, I'm gonna retract that about my daddy. One time I went to a pool, and we went without permission, and my mama told him to spank us. So he just spanked me, my daddy, because I was a daddy's girl. But my daddy never put his hands on me. But this guy slapped me in my face, and I was only 13 years old. And so he had some people with him, and then my friend, you know, was looking in disbelief and told the guy to go or whatever. I don't remember how it went, but that was, and then there was a rumor going around that guy used to beat me up, which was not true. He had slapped me one time. He did put his hands on me. And from that point on, I looked at him differently, even though I used to like him, but it could never be nothing with us. And you may be watching my live now, you know, but it would never, because that scarred me when you put your hands on me. Now, this guy really used to like me, and he, like I said, he was cool. And so he was gonna get married to this girl, and like I said, he even called me on the day of the wedding, told me to come to the wedding. I went to the wedding. His ex-wife, well, it was his wife at the time, I didn't want no parts of him, but my friend, my cousin, was friends with the wife. So I used to be in places where the wife would be. Like I said, the guy that slapped me is who I'm talking about. And so she didn't like me. I didn't like her. Like I said, I'm not a violent person, but like I said, he used to hit on her. I know for a fact he used to hit on her. So, but you know, like I said before, he hit me, he slapped me in my face. And I'll never forget that. And I never told, I think my cousins probably knew about it. But everybody was young at the time. I never told my brother. I told my brother just recently about what had happened. Because my brother had asked me about, did I hear from the guy or whatever. And I was like, no, I don't want nothing to do with him because of what happened. And my brother, I told him what happened. He was like, he did what? You know, my brother is very overprotective of me. We may not talk on the phone every day. But hey, if it's something going down in my family and you messing with me, my mama or my sister or anybody, you know, the immediate family or my brother, he used to be on it. He did not play that. He really didn't. And, you know, there's been plenty of times where I've gotten my brother in the middle of things where he could have gotten himself killed or hurt. This is one particular story I want to talk about. And I'm going to leave Kadejah right where she at because, like I said, she was a little demon because she killed that man on live. But I'm going to leave her where she's at, and we're going to follow up on that later on and see what's going to come out of that about her trial. But back to my stories, and my platform is about criminal domestic violence. And thank y'all so much for just staying with me on this. I know I'm kind of all over the place with these stories, but I do make it interesting because it's deep with the stories, and it won't be boring. True. So what I was telling y'all about my brother, okay. My brother was always overprotective of me. Now, my ex, and this story right here is what I'm going to tell y'all. It was a time when my brother was in this neighborhood, and my brother was fresh. He had on some nice clothes. Him and his homeboy, they were together, had on some good clothes, getting ready to go meet these females. And so I happened to be at my ex house at the time. And so I don't know what happened. My brother showed up in the neighborhood. We was talking, and my ex tried to get jazzy with me. You know, when I say jazzy, I mean he started disrespecting me in front of my brother. Oh, you're not gonna do that in front of my brother. So my brother was like, what? You what? So there it go again. My brother and my ex at the time on the sidewalk. My brother hit him. Like I told y'all, my brother hit first. He don't wait. He ain't about all that talking. He hits first. So then my ex grabbed my brother by the legs and tried to flip him. You know, he was like I told you, he liked to grab. He used to try to grab me and stuff like that. So he tried to grab my brother by the legs. So my brother and him started fighting. And then next thing you know, everybody from the neighborhood came out. And I hate that it was because of me. Everybody in the neighborhood came out and the police came. Richland County came. So Richland County, my ex was, like I said, you could not control him when he got angry. So he got, I think he had a hammer in his hand or something like that, because the car that I was in, my ex took the hammer. And my son was like, maybe 7 years old, and he was in the back seat of the car, both of my kids. Don't you know, my ex-husband took the hammer and bam, you know, he broke the back window of the glass, and my son was right there in the back seat. All the glass shattered. He could have bust my son in the head with a hammer. And when he did that, like I said, he was like uncontrollable, like I said. But Richland County came, and was like, put the hammer down. And he wouldn't put the hammer down. I was like, oh my God, I knew that he was going to be killed by the police. Now, this happened way back in 1999, 98, something like that. You know, the police wasn't as bad as how they is now, which they are. They were still bad back then. But he would not put the hammer down. If that was the right officer, oh, he would have gotten shot because he had the Glock. The officer had the gun on my ex, telling him to put the gun down. So the hammer down. So finally, by the grace of God, he put the hammer down. But what I was saying was my brother. I got my brother involved with that, and he could have killed my brother that time, but he didn't. But he did go to jail. My ex went to jail that night. He went to jail. Like I said, just angry. Man, it's got anger issues. Really, really bad. But I'm trying to think of another story that I can tell you. It's so many stories, y'all, you would not believe. So I'm going to go back to fighting incidents. Like, I've been in a lot of incidents where with guys, like my first boyfriend, and him and I, we used to fight. You know what I mean? We used to fight. And then one of my drug dealer boyfriends, we used to fight. And I used to fight them because they, you know, like I said, I wasn't a tomboy, but like I said, I'm not an aggressive person or whatever. But like I said, I wouldn't let them put their hands on me. No, I wasn't going to do that. But like I said, with my ex-husband, he used to scare me because I knew how big his hands were. So big, y'all. And when he would shake your hand, anybody that know him know what I'm talking about. If he shake your hand, he going to shake your hand and it's going to hurt. His hands needed to be registered because they were so lethal. And I always thought about my face, you know, if he were to hit me or something like that. He had lethal hands. But like I said, with my other boyfriends, if I fought, we used to fight. You know, not all the time, but I wouldn't let them hit me. I would hit them back. They'll tell you. And you know who you are because I know you're watching. You too. But anyway. My ex-husband, he was a real jealous person. He always was jealous no matter what. Like, he had a jealous spirit in him. Not only was he angry, but he had a jealous spirit in him. Wherever we would go at, you would be happy to know that somebody is complimenting your wife. But he took it the wrong way, as if I knew them and I was cheating on him. In his mind, that's what he thought. Whenever somebody saw me, it could be somebody that I knew or from the past, and it made it uncomfortable for me when I saw a person, especially a guy. I really couldn't even speak to my ex co-worker or my classmate or something like that, because he would think, my ex, that I was messing around with them. And it was just one particular time when he sent me, we were in the car together, and so he sent me into the Waffle House to pick up an order that we had made. So he was in the car waiting on me. I went in to go get it or whatever, and he was in the car waiting on me. And it was a guy that was in the Waffle House. I did not even know this guy. I don't know who he was or who he is right now to this day. And my ex assumed that I knew the guy, and I gave the guy my phone number. Now, that's a mental delusional person, because I did not give him my phone number. Once I walked into the Waffle House, the guy was at the bar. I mean, not the bar, but the you know, the little counter. And he looked, of course, you know, I look nice, so he gonna look. Ain't nothing wrong with people looking with their eyes. So the whole time my ex watching like, okay. So he made it upon himself to come into the Waffle House, y'all, and asked me. He asked the dude, "How you doing today?" He was real nice to the guy, and then he looked at me, and I could see that demonic look in his eyes, and I was like, "Oh Lord!" He was like, "What's going on? What's going on?" So don't you know, he grabbed me by my arm, like I told you. He used to like grab me, and pull me out the door, and so. The people inside the Waffle House saw that, and they saw us arguing outside because he was trying to tell me to get in the car. And I was like, I'm not getting in the car. And so next thing you know, and this was in Lexington County. So, you know, Lexington County don't play. They rolled up on us and asked me what was the problem. And I told them what was the problem. And guess what I did? I told them that everything was okay. That's what I did. But he did not ride back with me. Even though I was afraid, he did not ride back with me. The police told me to go ahead on about my business. And like I said, we did stay together still. And I didn't let him in the house. But he still, you know, knocked on the door, was acting crazy. And like I said, just all kind of crazy stuff I went through, y'all. Y'all just wouldn't believe all the crazy stuff I went through with this man. It was just a lot of stuff. And like I said, right now, I'm just so grateful that I'm alive, and I have my peace of mind. I don't have to worry about him. And what happened was, like I said, I'm gonna have some more stories to tell, but what happened and how he finally left me alone. He left me alone. I don't know. I mean, I know it was God, but all of a sudden, he just left me alone. Like, I don't know if he met somebody else and that's all it takes sometimes to get another person off of you. You thinking about another person is you meet somebody else. And then I used to walk around Columbia really scared, not knowing where he gonna show up at. If he was following me, I used to look through my rearview mirror. Even if I was at a family house or a friend house, I would be real nervous walking out the door because I didn't know, at times if he was gonna do something to me, because he knew where I lived, he knew where I worked, he knew what kind of car I drove. All of that, I went through that. I was just a nervous wreck at times. But by the grace of God, he just left me alone. For some reason, he left me alone, and I was just so grateful for that. And I tried to stay out of his way. He lived on the North Main Street side. You did not see me over there. Later on, you did. I was dating this guy, but that was years later. And my ex never knew about this guy, but the guy knew my ex. And he was afraid of my ex because he used to always tell me, ain't you such a wife? Throwing that up in my face. I'm like, you scared of him? Yeah, but he's no longer with us. God rest his soul. Yeah, but like I said, it's a lot of more stories that I can tell. And I'm going to go back and regroup on some of those stories because I just want to get my live out here. Just to say I'm live, and y'all, and like I said, y'all hit the like button. Please hit the like button. Hit the like button. I'm on YouTube live also, so hopefully the YouTube is working well because I'm streaming 2 platforms right now. I got Facebook going and I got YouTube going. So do y'all have any questions? Hey Angela, good seeing you. Thank you for watching. Anybody got any questions they want to ask me? Let's talk. Let's get some questions in. Okay, well, I guess I don't really want to leave the live. I don't really have to leave. I want to try to do it for at least an hour. I think 2 people watching me on YouTube. Y'all 2 people that's watching me on YouTube, y'all say something to me. Let me know you're here. Facebook, let me know you're here. Yeah, I'm really getting kind of bored. I'm ready to start back working again. Because I'm bored now. You might see me at your local Walmart. Yeah. I just, I want to, like I said, start back working again. I wanted to go into my major, which is criminal justice. Like a victim's advocate or something like that, I told y'all. But I got to get my record clean. I'm in the process of getting it expunged, so I got to see what's going on with that. I'm going to check on that tomorrow. I might have to hire a lawyer because it's been so long ago. We talking about between 17 to 28 to 30 years ago. So I might have to get an attorney to go ahead and, because they say it could take up to 6 months. I ain't got 6 months to wait like that. I'm ready to get into my field and do what I got to do to try to help somebody. Yeah. But, yep. So nobody got any questions they want to ask me or anything like that? Anything y'all want to know that I left off at a cliffhanger? Y'all welcome to ask me. But in the meantime, I'm gonna, let me see what else I can talk about. Hold on, I might have some more stuff I can talk about because I got a little book, my little journal right here that I got. Oh, you're welcome, Dolores. I want to share my stuff, my stories out here because it could help other people. And like I said before, some people probably wonder why I tell my business. This is business for everybody to be aware. This is awareness. It's not about me telling my business. If you did not go through any domestic violence, you won't understand. So those are the people that probably are the ones wondering why I'm telling my business. But my stories and what I went through can enlighten other people to get help in what they are going through, and they may not know how to get help. There are plenty of resources out here. So yeah, I'm going to share my stories, and this is my platform is domestic violence. It is criminal domestic violence, and I've had plenty of people to let me know that they are domestic violence survivors, and that makes me feel real good knowing that they survived whatever they went through. It just makes me feel really good, because a lot of women and men can't get out of it. Some die. Some are in jail, you know. So it's just a blessing and from God to get out of it and make it and just, be well. And I want to try to get some people on like my platform that are criminal domestic violence survivors and tell their stories. That's what I want to do. So I'm going to try to see how to share my screen, so that way, if somebody want to tell their story, because don't be afraid to do it. I know that the world we live in now is the internet, and a lot of people are embarrassed about certain things that may be going on, and they try to hide it and make like they good. But you have to be real with yourself. That's one thing about me and my channel, my platform. I'm not trying to fake nothing with y'all. I want to come at y'all real and raw, and that's how I am. I'm that type of person. Anybody that know me, I'm a sweetheart. I don't like to have enemies out there. It may be some people that don't like me, but I don't know why, because I haven't done anything to you. You just have to get to know me. I'm the most loyal person that you can have as a friend. I'm not messy. You tell me something and you tell me not to tell nobody, I won't tell nobody. That's just the adult in me. I'm a good friend. I am really a good friend, and I could be a good wife, girlfriend too. I did have some issues back in the day when I was younger, like I said, cheating on my ex, my first boyfriend. I've grown past all that stuff. Like I said, that was just some stupid stuff that I did. But like I said, I'm a good person, and I know y'all know that too. And I don't think I'm all that. If I see people like homeless people. Some people won't give them nothing because they worry about what they're going to do with the money. As long as you give from the heart, it doesn't matter what they do with the money, okay? A lot of people be like, well, I'll buy them the food, or I'll buy them. Just give them the money. If whatever they do with it, they do with it. God will bless you. He will bless you even more because of you giving. Like I could be I don't have a lot of money, but if I'm in a store or a Dollar Tree or wherever I'm at, grocery store, and it depends on, how much money I got on me or however I'm going to spend on my budget, I'll pay for that person behind me stuff. I will do that. And I've done it before a lot of times. I continue to do it. And that's why God bless me the way that he does, because of what I do for other people. And yes, I do. I try to do good. It's been a time where, I didn't do good, but God has blessed me to bless others. So he put me in position, and that's what I'm doing. Like I said, I love everybody. I don't like to have any enemies. Even my old boyfriends that I had, I'm cool with every last one of them. The ex, probably if I see him, he'll probably speak to me or whatever too. We divorced years and years ago. But like I said, I'm friends with all of my boyfriends. Not that I had a lot of them, but I'm just saying all the ones that I told y'all about. I'm friends with all of them. They even my Facebook friends. So I don't want to have no enemies out here. I don't want none. It might be some females that don't like me. They may make like they like me. But, like I said, one of my friends, she told me that this girl this was when we was like maybe 18, 19 or something like that. And so I don't know if I told y'all the story or not, but this is my best friend or whatever. She told me one time this girl had asked her, how can you hang with her? And she was like, what you mean? She nice. She ain't like that. What you mean? Girl didn't even know me. And that's just like in high school, it was this girl, every day, I think I was a junior in high school. I would walk down the little thing in school, and all of a sudden I heard this girl say, look at her, with all that wall paint. What is wall paint? All that wall paint on her face. I ain't never wore no lot of makeup. Always like I have on lipstick and eyeliner. That's all I ever wore. I never wore all that other stuff on my face. You know, if I'm going, you know, to a wedding or whatever it is, a special occasion, I may put some foundation on, but I ain't with all that stuff. But anyway, that's what she used to say. I didn't know who she was talking to. And so one day, this was during lunchtime, I was trying to go out the door, and she was standing by the door. And don't you know this heifer had blocked the door? And I figured she was talking about me then when she was talking about the wall paint. So this heifer had done blocked the door. And so I went to reach for the door, and she janked the door. So I was like, okay, you know, I ain't, like I said, I ain't no violent person. So I went ahead and told my cousin about it, right? You know, my cousin, she was 7-0 around at Eau Claire High School. You know, she had my back whenever. So she, I think the girl, I don't know, the girl, I had told a teacher about what had happened. I think the teacher might have talked to her. I don't know what had happened with that. But let me tell y'all how God worked. Okay. Me and the girl, because it was another semester had passed. So don't you know her, the girl who used to say with the wall paint, talk about me, we had a class together. And don't you know, me and her became the best of friends. I didn't trust that heifer though. But we became the best of friends in the classroom. Oh man, we had to see, that's all you have to do is get to know me. That's what I'm saying. You can't judge a book by its cover. You cannot judge a person like that. That's like, you know, nowadays you judging people like stereotyping somebody. You can't do that. You have to get to know a person. Yeah, so like I said, me and her became the best of friends. But don't you know, not too long ago, a couple of years back, she ended up going to jail for murder. I was like, Lord have mercy. I'm glad me and her wasn't no best friends, no besties. Years later. Yeah, so, yep. But, like I said, I've been through a whole lot in my lifetime. It may not look like it. And I know that I'm kind of all over the place with my stories, but I'm just trying to get these stories out here so I can have some time to engage with y'all anyway. So, a lot of people wanted to know how I got the name. You know, I get DMs a lot, and some people want to know how did I get the name Pig, because that's my nickname. I grew up with that name. P-I-G-G is how you spell it, not P-I-G, it's P-I-G-G. Okay, so family members can call me Pig now, but like I told y'all before, if y'all see me on the street and be like, hey Pig, I'm gonna ignore you. I'm serious, I'm gonna ignore you. Nah, but anyway, my grandmother used to keep me. My mother had me at a very young age when she was 16. So my grandmother had to step in, and she used to watch me while my mother had to go to work. So everybody in the family would come by and stop by and wanted to see me. So they would be to my grandmother, come to my grandmother's house and be like, where the baby at? Where the baby at? Talking about me. And my grandmother would be like, there go that pig right there. There go that pig right there. And she called me Pig because she would give me a bottle. And after I finished that one bottle, I would cry for another bottle. And I just would cry. I just always cry for bottles. And I was greedy. That's the point I'm trying to make. So that's how she came with the name Pig. And I just grew up with that. With the name Pig. My grandmother named me Pig. And I thought before Facebook came, I thought that I was the only pig in the whole United States. I did. I thought I was the only Danietta. And let me tell y'all how I got the name Danietta. My mother was in school. And you know how you in school with your girlfriends and you like, when I have a child, when I'm going to name the baby. So somebody, one of her friends had said that they were going to name their baby Danietta. And so my mother always kept that name with her. So like I said before, I thought that I was the only Danietta in the whole world until Facebook came along, but really not before Facebook, because I think I was probably around 22 or 21 or something like that. May not even be that old. I was watching, what's the name of that show with Arnold? What you talking about, Willis? I think it's not The Facts of Life. I forgot the name of it. But anyway, with Arnold, y'all know what I'm talking about, with Arnold. And so I was looking at the credits, like all the people that played, like the costume designers, and I saw the name Danietta on the screen, and that intrigued me. I was like, wow. And I was trying to tell everybody about that, about the name Danietta. I saw it on the screen, but nobody believed me. And I tried to look for that name again, but couldn't find it until Facebook came along. And then I had some of my friends that I went to high school with, don't you know, which was truly a blessing, and I'm so honored. They named their daughter Danietta after me. And one of my friends, my friend Linda Maxwell from Latimer Manor, she named her daughter Danietta. My Hollywood Hills and my classmate Virginia, she named her daughter Danietta, Virginia Green. And then Gloria Smith named her daughter Danietta. And I was very honored and didn't know that, you know, they thought of my name to be such a beautiful name. And I'm honored for them to have named their daughters after me. Thank y'all so much, which I've already told y'all. And I was able to meet Virginia's daughter, Danietta. And I haven't met Gloria's daughter or Linda's daughter, but I do want to meet them because I love that their name is Danietta. So, yeah, that really is good to know. Yep. But again, thank y'all so much for watching. I don't know, I don't have that many people watching right now, but I know that y'all can come back and watch my live. But I was trying to stretch it out. If y'all got some questions, give me some questions. I'm trying to look at my chat. Let me see who's here. Let me type and see who's here. I'm on YouTube asking who's here. Let's see if they're going to respond. Y'all keep talking. Okay, Dolores, I'm going to keep talking. Let me see. Let me go back through my notes. Hold on, Dolores. Let's see. Let's see. Let me go back through my notes. Oh yeah, I just talked about the part about two of my friends. Oh yeah, I was gonna tell y'all about a story about like I tell y'all, when I talk about my ex, sometimes it could be about some stalking stories, sometimes it could be about some crazy jealous stories. This particular story right here, I'm gonna tell y'all. Okay, like I told y'all, we used to get into it, then I would leave him, and then we would probably be apart for a little while or whatever. So this one particular time, y'all, he left and he ended up messing with somebody, a female, right? And I should have let the female keep him then, but I didn't at the time. So let me tell y'all about this story, okay? He ended up meeting this older lady, right? So I was wondering, when I would go by his job to let our son get his hair cut, like I said, him and I we were still together. We was married, but we wasn't together. We was separated. And so, you know, I still didn't cheat on him with nobody and mess with nobody, but he went on about his merry little way and got him another little boo. I was like, okay. So I went by the barber shop and I saw a Mercedes in the parking lot. And so I kept seeing that car because I would pass by there. You know what I mean? You know, just passing by. But like I said, I went there one day. And so he went into the car. I'm like, well, whose car is this? And he tried to flaunt it in my face. And so the young lady car, like I said, she was a little older. 86. I came out in 1986. Yeah. So he went into her car. So I went to the car to talk to him. So the lady had a picture of her son and daughter like on the dashboard of the car. So I'm like, who car is this you driving? So he was like, ain't none of your business. You know what I mean? So, you know, I didn't want him, but you know how it is. I didn't want nobody else to have him. So I was trying to create some chaos. You know what I mean? So, and he was loving that too, that I was acting like that. So, because he flaunting with her kids, you got kids of your own you ain't taking care of. So what happened was, he ended up, like I said, seeing this older lady, and she had money, y'all. Her husband he was killed. He was like a mailman or something in New York, and he got in a really bad car accident on the mail truck, broke his neck or whatever, and she got a lot of money. So she had a nice Mercedes, and this was, like I said, back in 1989. I'm sorry, 1999, 1998, you know, back then. So, she had a really nice home. And see, back then, we didn't have the internet. Now, the internet came to play back in, I don't know how long I had. I think I had my internet, my Facebook, like 2008, something like that. So, I tried to do some detective work on my own to try to find out who she was. And how can I find out who this broad is that's spending time with my husband? Because he was still my husband at the time. Like I said, I was just trying to make a statement and a point. So I found out who she was. And this is how I found out, y'all. How did I find out? Okay, no, what happened was when I went to his apartment, right? I got the keys because he had her car. And so I went inside of her car and found her registration. And I saw her address on there. So I did not know, because like I told you, we didn't have the internet to where you could get GPS and find out where you're going at or whatever. So I called the post office. And because I had the zip code, right? Let me tell you how smart your girl is, okay? I called the post office. The post office told me exactly what subdivision the house was in, where it was at, how to get there and everything. Because I made it up like, you know, I'm trying to find out, you know, where is that? And they told me. So, you know, the whole time I'm like, okay, she gonna mess with my husband? Oh, no. You know what I mean? She gonna mess with my husband? So I found out where she lived. So I drove my car all the way to her house. And then I drove up in her lawn and started flashing the lights at her house and bumping my horn. Bump, bump, bump. Flashing lights, right? She got nervous from what I was told later on, right? So she called the police on me and had a restraining order put out on me. Had a restraining order put out on me, right? So, like I said, he was still my husband. So, of course, him and I got back together, and I still had to go to court about the restraining order. So she in court looking all stupid by herself. Because, listen, women. Yes, the Lord. So the man always come back to his wife. So if y'all messing with a married man or a married woman or however, they always go back to their husband or wife. So he came back to me, and she looked real stupid in court because he had my side. He was like, she didn't do that. That wasn't her. She didn't do that. So after it was over with, right? Him and I walked out together, and she walked out. So he gave me a big hug and a kiss in my face in front of her. Oh, she didn't like that. Yeah. So, but I should have had let her have him. I don't know what I was thinking about, because after all that had happened, that's when other stuff went crazy and bad. Yeah, I don't know what I was thinking about. I'll never in my life do that again. Don't y'all do that either. And like during the time that they was together, it really hurt me because he was over there taking care of her, well, kids, and doing all kind of going to the beach, Myrtle Beach and all that stuff like that. I remember one time I had my that the devil was in me back then. I didn't even want him. That's the thing about it. I didn't even want him, Dolores. I just wanted to prove a point that, you know, I could get him back if I wanted to. That's why I did it, which was crazy. I did crazy stuff. But at one time they was at the beach, and this was, you know, before, you know, he came back to me or whatever, and I went to the house. I even got one of my friends to try to drive me to Myrtle Beach so I can get them to see what's going on. Because you ain't taking care of your own kids. How you going to take care of somebody else's kids? Yeah. But yeah, that was just crazy. I did crazy stuff. But like I said, that was way back. That was like in 1997, 98. That's years ago. But I'll never do anything like that again. I've matured so much in my life. I really have matured a lot. So, but you never would have thought that I would have did nothing like that before. But yeah, and you know, I used to you know, I used to smoke cigarettes. A lot of people didn't know I smoked cigarettes. And how I started smoking cigarettes was when I first got on board at Blue Cross. And like I said, I used to always hang with the older ladies. And we used to go out on break. And so one lady asked me, she was like, when we were on break, she was like, can you hold my cigarette for me, please? I got to go make a phone call. She was from New York. She was like, hold my cigarette for me, please. So, you know, I'm holding her cigarette, you know, trying to be grown or whatever. And so she, it was going to the waist, the cigarette. So I ended up puffing on a cigarette. And, you know, that's how I started smoking. So after that, when she came, when I would go back out the door with the ladies, I would like, give me a cigarette. But I never knew how to smoke cigarettes. That's what my brother always told me. I never knew how to smoke cigarettes. I never inhaled the cigarettes. I just puff on them or whatever. But yeah, dealing with a fool, yeah, I was smoking them cigarettes. Yeah, sure enough. Yeah, you did know the nice pig. I told you it was another side. I told y'all it was another side. Yeah. Hey, Yvette. Yeah. That's my girl, Yvette. Remember them Burger King days, girl? We had some fun at Burger King. That was a high school job back then in the day. That was the start of the beginning. Yep. I got to go back to tell y'all some funny stories about me in my weed smoking days. Now, keep in mind now what I'm telling y'all about the weed smoking. This is way over 30 years ago. So this was one particular time, me and one of my homegirls, hey, we was at lunch, and this was, I was working at the bank back then, you know. Ain't no shame in my game. Like I said, this way over 30 years ago. You're going to hear it, Dolores. So I never knew how to roll marijuana up. And my homegirl, she never knew how to roll either. So we both practiced on how to roll. We used to have the joints roll all crazy, you know, but we would get a buzz. So one day for lunch, her and I had my little Fiero then. That was the car. We riding down 277 with the windows rolled up, smoking on the marijuana, just smoking and getting high for lunch, right? And so next thing you know, a highway patrolman got behind me. Oh, Lord, we just knew we was going to jail, so we had to hurry. We let the windows down. You could tell all the smoke going out the window. So he pulled me over. Me either. I hate Burger King. He pulled me over, and so I just knew he could smell it. But see, back then, the marijuana didn't smell like how it smelled now. That stuff now kill you with that gas smell. That stuff make me sick, make me nauseated the way it smell now. But I knew he smelled it back then because when we rolled down the windows and all that smoke went out. And so he was like, you know, you was speeding, right? But, you know, we had looked conservative. We didn't look like we was, you know, like some criminals and stuff like that. I got away with a lot of stuff. But, yeah, he let me go with a warning because we was speeding. But I knew he smelled that marijuana. But, yeah, and me and my friend, girl, we laugh. Oh, my God, we laugh right now to this day about that story. Because like I told you, I could have been doing fed time. I could have had charges on my record other than checks or whatever. It's so much stuff I can tell y'all that I'm going to tell y'all. But I'm about to go now. Dolores, thank you so much for encouraging me to go on. But I've done did an hour, so that's way more than enough time. But I love y'all, and thank you so much for engaging with me. And I'm going to talk with y'all later. Y'all have a good night, and y'all stay blessed. Peace.